You know, when we put the symposium together, all of the experts told us that the best time of year will be at the end of March because it's the end of the raining season in LA, it's the end of the snow season in the Northeast, and it's the end of the flu season. We are 0 for 3, but excited that all of you made it out today. It's my privilege to have been involved in the Future of Healthcare Symposium since the inception of 2015. And I want to thank President Benton, President Dean Van Rensburg, and the team here at Pepperdine for all you do to bring this forum to life. Every year, I am inspired by the unique perspective and insights of our speakers, and this year is no exception. Dr. Murthy talked about the importance of the emotional health and well-being. I couldn't agree more that emotional health directly impacts overall health and success in life. Dr. Luke emphasized the importance of consumer engagement. We all need to be invested in improving our healthcare system, and the incentives need to be aligned in the right way. And our expert panel shared several perspectives, including the focus on the power of collaboration and partnerships in healthcare. All of these ideas directly relate to our theme today, healthcare leaders directing change. And there's no question that our healthcare system will need leadership from people like you to address the many emerging challenges. I want to elaborate on one such challenge discussed earlier, the opioid epidemic. Data from the Centers for Disease Control shows that 12.5 million people are misusing prescription opioids. Sadly, the use of opioids can lead to heroin addiction, and the number of heroin-related overdoses is staggering. Since 2002, there's been a 286% increase in deaths. At Genoa, we work with people who have behavioral health, addiction, and complex health issues. This gives us a unique perspective on addressing the opioid problem and the role that pharmacists can play in the solution. Prevention starts with prescribing fewer opioids in the first place. Because of the population we serve, we have never filled very many opioids, and that's a good thing. But one way to reduce overprescribing of opioids is through prescription drug registries that help doctors see what other prescriptions these patients have received. That's part of the collaboration story you heard earlier today. Another way to address the opioid crisis is by making medication-assisted treatment more available. This is a treatment that combines psychosocial therapy and FDA-approved medications. Again, you heard the combination of that in today's speakers. It is considered by most the best treatment for opioid addiction. Since 2014, at Genoa, we have seen nearly a 270% increase in prescriptions that used to treat opioid addiction. It's working. For many, however, this kind of treatment remains unavailable due to inadequate funding or a lack of qualified providers. Something, as we look at the future of healthcare, we have to continue to fix. Finally, pharmacy can play an important role in reversing an overdose. Naloxone can save a life if given in the middle of an overdose. Getting naloxone rescue kits to first responders is critical in the fight against opioid addiction. However, only a small percentage of first responders have access. Addressing the opioid epidemic requires resources, partnership, and leadership. The same is true for overall healthcare reform. It always requires clarity around what success looks like. A recent survey conducted by the University of Utah found that consumers, physicians, and employers all have their own view of value when it comes to healthcare. For physicians, not surprisingly, clinical quality is paramount. For consumers, it's cost and service that matter. The Institute for Healthcare Improvement helped define value in healthcare and a clear focus for improvement more than 10 years ago. It released what it dubbed the triple aim, improving three things simultaneously: the health of the population, reducing total cost of care, all while delivering an exceptional healthcare experience. Sounds tough, right? It's easy to spend all of the money in the world and deliver a great experience or the highest quality of care. It is much harder to provide healthcare services that do all three at the same time. But I believe that it is possible. In fact, innovative organizations across the country are already doing it, and you heard some of those examples today, but here are a couple of others. Take, for example, Queens Health Network in New York City. This regional healthcare system designed an ambulatory care program to guide patients to the right level of care, including offering home care services within 24 to 48 hours and follow-up phone calls until the first appointment after a hospital visit. In 2 years, patients avoided nearly 1,800 ER visits and cost savings totaling nearly $9 million a year, doing things slightly different. Wisconsin-based printing company Quad Graphics is another great example. More than 20 years ago, the company created QuadMed, an employer-sponsored health plan that provides primary care at the work site to its 22,000 employees and dependents. Talk about convenience. Employees have access to primary care and preventive health care at work. And Quad Graphics healthcare costs per employee are approximately 1/3 lower than other Wisconsin-based companies, and patient satisfaction is sky high. Finally, our own Genoa pharmacies and telepsychiatry services are another great example. We serve over 650,000 consumers, most of whom have a serious and persistent mental illness or addiction. They're often struggling with stable housing and transportation. Many times, they're just trying to get through the day. One of the most important ways they maintain their health is by staying on their medications. Many take several at different times of the day. These medications are complicated. They often have potentially serious side effects, and they are highly specialized. Having a pharmacist who can partner directly with the care team, including on-site providers and telepsychiatry doctors, makes a huge difference. So we developed a model that overcomes many of the barriers to high-quality care. We're located right inside the community mental health center so that consumers can walk down the hall from their doctor's office to get their medication. That's collaborative care. We put medications in special packaging that puts all the morning, afternoon, and evening pills together so patients with severe mental illness don't have to keep track. We do reminder calls and let providers know when patients haven't picked up their meds. Because we're on site with doctors, we can communicate quickly and effectively, live and throughout the day. This unique model isn't just great for consumers, it delivers on the triple aim. It provides better health, reduced costs, and is an experience that consumers want and deserve. A study by the Journal of Managed Care and Specialty Pharmacy showed that we were able to achieve better than a 90% medication adherence rate, which is unheard of in traditional retail pharmacies. This in turn means higher quality of care and reduced costs, fewer visits to the emergency room, fewer hospitalizations, and a lower total cost of care. But in the end, it's not just about the numbers, it's about changing lives. I hope that after you reflect on the amazing comments by all of our speakers today, you will come away excited and energized to lead change within healthcare in America. Before I introduce our next speaker, I would like to end with this. Business consultant Peter Drucker once said, "The best way to predict the future is to create it." Every one of us in this room has the opportunity to take what we've learned, to be inspired, and perhaps most importantly, to take action. So I encourage you to support those things that in your organization deliver the triple aim. Be engaged as healthcare consumers. Remember that emotional health is just as important as physical health. Create new connections and collaborate on solutions. Be healthcare leaders directing change.